You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is March 13th, 2018. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story today is from CNBC.com. U.S. consumer prices rose 0.2% in February versus 0.2% estimated. Consumer prices rose 0.2% in February, in line with expectations and likely elevating concerns that inflation is about to accelerate, according to the Labor Department. On a year-over-year basis, the Consumer Price Index rose 2.2%, a bit ahead of the 2.1% increase reported in January. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, the CPI was up 0.2% for the month and 1.8% annualized, unchanged from a month ago. The decline in energy prices helped keep inflation in check, while apparel contributed the most to gains, adding to gains posted in January. Energy prices overall gained just 0.1%, while apparel was up 1.5%. New car prices fell 0.5%, the biggest monthly decline since August of 2009. Our second story today is from Coindesk.com. Down but not out. Bitcoin remains on the hunt for 10,000. Bitcoin is reporting losses today, having failed to beat the key moving average resistance on Monday. However, the technical charts continue to favor a rally to $10,000. Bitcoin ran into bids in early European hours yesterday, rising to a 4-day high of $9,885, adding credence to Sunday's bullish outside day candle. Further, BTC also witnessed a bull flag breakout, a bullish continuation pattern on the hourly chart. However, the bulls ran out of steam near the 50-day moving average resistance level of $9,920 in early U.S. hours. Our third story today comes by way of investing.com. Record low volatility in precious metals and what it means. The past 18 months have been difficult for precious metals investors. If you had known Donald Trump would be elected and the US dollar would soon begin a nearly 15% decline, you would have expected gold to blow past its 2016 high. You would have been shocked to see the gold miners and junior gold stocks trading lower. Gold has fared okay, but the gold stocks and silver have lagged. As U.S. equities have continued to power higher, precious metals have struggled to perform while volatility in the space has dwindled. Precious metals volatility has reached extremely low levels, and this is a sign that a major move, while not necessarily imminent, is surely on the horizon. A lot of assertions and opinions here, huh? We plot a weekly bar chart, the first person narrative here. We plot a weekly bar chart of gold that includes a handful of volatility indicators, such as the CBOE Gold Volatility Index, average true range, and several Bollinger Band widths. These indicators have touched major lows in recent months. The gold VIX, which has began trading in 2010, recently touched its lowest level ever at 9. ATR recently touched its lowest level since 2007. The 40-week and 80-week BBW recently hit its lowest level since 2005, while the 160-day BBW recently touched its lowest level since 2002. And our final story of the day is from investing.com, and it's the top 5 things to know in the market on Tuesday. First thing to know is inflation on watch as Fed rate hike nears. The Commerce Department will publish February inflation figures at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time Tuesday, which will likely be a key ingredient in the Federal Reserve for the Federal Reserve to contemplate ahead of its March 20th and 21st monetary policy meeting. Market analysts expect consumer prices to rise 0.2%, which they did, weakening from January's 0.5% increase, while core inflation is forecast to inch up 0.2%, a touch slower than a month earlier when CPI recorded a 0.3% gain. All right, we talked about that already. Global stocks upbeat ahead of CPI after the Dow and S&P 500 failed to follow the NASDAQ Composite's example as the tech-heavy index hit record highs a day earlier. U.S. futures pointed to a higher open on Wall Street on Tuesday, which they did, as investors are waiting for inflation data. Third thing to know: Trump halts Broadcom takeover of Qualcomm. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday blocked microchip maker Broadcom's proposed takeover of Qualcomm on national security grounds, ending what would have been the technology industry's biggest deal ever, amid concerns that it would give China the upper hand in mobile communications. The fourth thing to know today is Trump may pick Kudlow for NEC, Pennsylvania special election on tap. Larry Kudlow is the leading contender to head President Donald Trump's National Economic Council and would take the job if offered, according to a report from CNBC. Kudlow appears to be the front-runner to replace Gary Cohn as a favorite of both Trump and several of his advisors. The choice is notable because Kudlow was openly against the implementation of steel and aluminum tariffs that were arguably the reason for Cohn's resignation. Investors were also keeping a close eye on special elections in Pennsylvania, which kick off on Tuesday. Trump-backed Republican Rick Saccone will face off against Democrat Conor Lamb to the race to replace GOP member Tim Murphy after his resignation last October. And fifth thing to know is Japan to propose crypto regulations at G20. Japan will urge its G20 counterparts at a meeting next week to beef up its efforts to prevent cryptocurrencies from being used for money laundering, according to Reuters report, citing government officials with direct knowledge to the matter. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, March 13th, 2018. Your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart, and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Options News Rundown. To learn more about these stories or any other developments from the world of options, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.